Today I'm going to tell you about Mobile Suit Gundam Battle Operation 2, give you all the info you need to know to get started, and whether or not this is the Gundam game for you. What's going on, everyone? Sly here, and if you know anything about me, I love mecha, especially Mobile Suit Gundam. And as of recent, there have been quite a few Gundam video game releases, with that of SD Gundam Battle Alliance and Gundam Evolution. But today I want to introduce you to a game that's been out for quite some time that I recently picked up, called Mobile Suit Gundam Battle Operation 2, currently on PS4 and PS5. Now, for those of you currently playing Gundam Evolution, Battle Operation 2 differs in many ways. The major difference is the speed of play. Evolution is faster paced, taking cues from Overwatch, whereas Battle Operation 2 has a slower pace and is a bit more tactical. Think Counter-Strike, but with Gundams. The premise is simple. Two teams of varying numbers depending on what the map dictates. The goal? Get more points than the enemy team before time runs out. How do you get points? Getting kills on suits and/or pilots, taking beacons, and destroying the enemy base. Pretty simple, right? Well, beneath its surface, Battle Operation 2 has many nuances that makes the game easy to pick up and difficult to master, but we can cover those in another video. Let's start off with the main feature, the mobile suits. How do you get mobile suits? Which one is the best? Let's cover the former. Battle Operation 2 is a gacha game, meaning you'll do pulls for mobile suits. There's a new banner introduced every week on Thursday at 1 a.m. Eastern and Wednesday 10 p.m. Pacific. You have the option to do an individual pull or a 10 pull with bonus. In the pull, you'll get things like weapons, wearable accessories which have no bearing on gameplay and are just there for glam, and of course mobile suits. There are other ways to get suits, weapons, and parts such as training, monthly login rewards, finding containers after a match, or using DP, the in-game currency you earn just by playing the game. Matches are done on either ground or in space and usually have a cost attached to them. For example, a round of maps might have a ground city center match at 500 cost, meaning you can only bring units that cost between 400 and 500. Cost is basically a value placed on a suit which associates power or general ability. We'll get to that more when we talk about the suits themselves later on. Now for the gacha. To do pulls, you need tokens. When you start the game, doing the training missions gives you tokens, as well as the simulator if beaten under 3 minutes. And some daily, weekly, and monthly rewards can give tokens as well. Certain times the game will give you free individual pulls such as GBO days, which happen near the beginning of every month, special banners, or seasonal events and celebrations. You can also purchase tokens through PSN. An individual pull is 3 tokens, while a full pull is 30 tokens. The 10 pull usually comes with bonuses, and for certain banners are a part of the steps for the pity system. Sometimes the first pull of the step will come at a discounted amount. For example, the first step will cost 15 tokens, then every step after that will be the normal price of 30 tokens. Now the suits themselves. There are 3 different types of mobile suits: general types, raid types, and support types. GBO2 centers around a rock, paper, scissors mechanic that puts suits at advantage over one type and disadvantage over the other. So general types have advantage over raid types types have advantage over support types, and support types have advantage over general types. What this means is that suits with advantage will deal higher damage and receive less damage. Suits at disadvantage will deal less damage and receive higher damage. With this in mind, there are over 300 plus units in the game currently. So how exactly do you know if you have advantage or not? In a match when your reticle is on an enemy unit, it will do one of 3 things. Have the word advantage in blue next to the reticle, have the word disadvantage in white next to the reticle, or have no wording signaling your suits are the same type. Every suit has different stats and skills that sets them apart from other suits, so take the time to get to know a suit you want to use and be sure to check its weapons, stats, and skills. Additionally, you can purchase custom parts from the supply counter to augment certain stats, but we'll get into builds another time. For now, find a suit you like either aesthetically or ability-wise and play with it a bit to get used to it. But let's say you're just starting out and you don't really have a lot of suits, your selection is very limited, or at certain costs you may just have supports or one role specifically. In this case, look to the words of the wise Ron Tater Salad White.
If life gives you lemons, you should make lemonade. And try to find someone whose life has given them vodka and have a party.
What does this mean? Make do with what you have and play around your party. 8 times out of 10, someone in your party is going to have a suit that's probably better than yours stat-wise, so play around them. You may only have a bunch of supports at a certain cost, and someone on your team may have just pulled a pretty beefy raid type fresh off the new banner. So as a support, do supporty things and keep those pesky generals off them as much as you can. Use what you got to get what you want, which in this case is wins. Remember that cost value I mentioned earlier? Well, let's say you're doing a 600 cost match and you decide to bring a 550 Hazel Custom. Good choice, by the way. Bringing a 550 doesn't mean the end of the world. Hell, I actually have a healthy choice of actual 600 cost units, but I intentionally decided to bring this particular 550. Why? Because it's fun as hell. I find that after using it for a certain amount of time, I gel with it, and I do pretty decent against actual 600 units. Using an underpowered, undercost unit isn't the end of the world. Again, use what you got to get what you want. Another thing to mention is actual progression. Is there a progression in this game? Yes, in 2 ways. There's rank and rating. Rank is actual game progression. Play the game, earn XP towards higher ranks. Of course, getting more XP if you win. Higher rank means more access to mobile suits, custom parts, and weapons in the DP store. Rating is your gauge of skill. You have ratings for ground maps and space maps because they're 2 totally different monsters. Rating goes from D- to S. Everyone starts out at D-. If you win, you'll get points toward D rank, and then D+, and then C-, and so on and so on. Conversely, if you lose, you'll lose rating, so it's possible to go from C- back to D+, and so on. Rating determines who you queue with in lobbies, so you'll typically see players within your weight class, so to speak. I've only been playing this game for about a month, and as of recent, I hit A- rating with only playing a few days a week. So for now, don't worry too much about rating. So just have fun, learn the intricacies of the game, and you'll get up to higher ratings in no time. As far as learning the intricacies of the game, I can say I had a bit of a head start by playing Gundam Battle Operation Code Fairy. Code Fairy is a separate single-player experience that puts you on missions as an all-female Zeon unit during the events of the One-Year War. It does a good job of teaching you the basics as its mechanics are based around the original battle operation. But this is a $60 game for all episodes, so a lot of people might not be down for a $60 introductory course in a sense. However, if you do play and get through Code Fairy, you can link your save data with GBO2 and get some free suits, so there's that. But in regards to learning, if you don't want to go the Code Fairy route, your learning curve might be a bit steeper, but not too steep. Now, one thing to mention as far as a downside to the game. Queuing can sometimes take a while, especially at the lower ratings, hell, even sometimes at the higher ratings. There have been times when you might be waiting anywhere from a couple of minutes to 10 minutes or more just to find a match. Sometimes it'll even fail matchmaking and you just have to queue again. The matchmaking system isn't the best, but for me, this is a case of the pros outweighing the cons, so I really don't mind waiting for a match. With all that said, should you try Gundam Battle Operation 2? Absolutely. Me being a huge Gundam fan might show a bit of bias, but currently between GBO2 and Gundam Evolution, I find myself playing GBO2 a lot more. Its pace might not be as fast as Evolution's, but the gameplay is a lot more tactical with a huge emphasis on team play. One person can't carry a match, and believe me, I've tried. There'll be matches where you will get absolutely stomped by the enemy team, and vice versa. I've had matches decided in the last second, with a kill with half a second left on the clock deciding the victor. It's moments like these that get me coming back every single time. But what do you think? Can I give GBO2 a try? Leave a comment down below letting me know what you think. If you have any questions, drop those too, as I'll be doing a video answering any questions you have. I'll also be doing previews of suits coming to the game, and of course, gameplay videos as well. I've been away from the YubTubs for a hot minute, but I'm back, and you'll see a lot of Gundam and a lot of JRPG gaming content, so be sure to subscribe for more. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.